Hey, welcome back. I'm Erika Bell. I'm a professional organizer. I'm so glad you're here. If you are dealing with a small bedroom and you are looking for ways to maximize that space, make it more organized, and I even have a few tips for making it appear larger, this video is for you. So we all know that a tidy space can help with relaxation, it can help with productivity, it can help with just everything, right? Your bedroom is the first thing you see in the morning and the last thing you see at night. So you want it to be organized, you want it to be your little oasis, whether you are in high school or whether you are, retired, anything like that. You're always gonna want it to be that same kind of feeling, no matter what stage of life you're in. So here you go. So in a small bedroom, we really want to use everything. We want to max out the space that we have. Max out the space that we have and what we put in those spaces. We want to be very, very intentional. So that means we are using vertical space. We're going as high to the ceiling as we can. We're also looking under beds and using storage for under the beds to organize different things. So we are going to use the backs of doors. We are going to use every space. Now listen, I don't want you to think it's going to be chaotic because we're using every single thing, but we really want to be intentional and max out what we have. So if there's wall space, can we put a shelf on it to house certain things? Can we, like I say, take the shelves all the way up to the ceiling, use all of that vertical space. I was working with a client recently and she actually had a big closet, but her shelves kind of stopped, not halfway, but like a little bit over her hanging stuff. And I'm like, can we do something more with this space above it? So her husband ended up putting another shelf in. We ended up being able to store all of her Christmas stuff. It's incredible. Like sometimes we just forget about those spaces. We forget about up high and we forget about down low and we forget about the behinds of things, the other side of things, the back side of the door, that sort of thing. So also we are going to max out what we put in those spaces. So like I said, we are using everything in your room. So ideally we want those pieces to be multifunctional, right? Maybe you have a bed that has drawers on the bottom that pulls out. If not, like I said, we could put a storage thing underneath it. But maybe you have an ottoman, but you lift it up and it's storage space where you can store blankets, store whatever, we want those multifunctional pieces. We don't want anything that's not gonna serve a real purpose and probably have more than one function, right? So it's your coffee table, or it's a little table, and then it's also a storage thing. So just think about those things. If you're really into the minimalist look, in a small bedroom, it looks very clean, but you are going to lack some of that storage space out in the open. So, you can think about, like I said, under the beds, that sort of thing. One thing you can do to make your room appear larger, if you can't change your space, we're gonna get it organized, but one thing that is a nice trick is mirrors. Make sure you have some type of hanging mirror, whether it's on the back of the door, or maybe it's a nice, beautiful mirror that you have above your bed or, on a wall. It's going to instantly make your room look larger. Also, lighter colors are going to help with that as well. The dark colors, as much as I love them, they make your room feel tighter, feel more enclosed. And that's really not probably what we're looking for in this case. If you did want to do a darker color, if you're like, Erika, I have to have this black wall, maybe you do one wall. Then it won't feel so enclosed, right? So it won't feel as small. The other thing you want to do to help organize your small room is to create zones within your rooms. So maybe you use rugs to define these zones or these spaces. Maybe you actually use room dividers, but these little areas will kind of feel like you have areas within your room, right? Areas within an area. So you're creating multiple places, purposes, ways to use your room within this one big space. Then it's going to break up the feel. And if you have multiple areas within your room that you've defined, it's kind of going to feel larger in that aspect because you have different things going on, right? It's not just a big it's not just a bed and just not intentional, right? You can also play around with this just by how you have your furniture. So being very intentional with how can we maximize, the footprint of our room, the floor, what are we trying to get out of it? So if you're feeling like your room is really small, is there a better way to rearrange your furniture and create those different zones than you already have, create those different areas? Now, lastly, if you lack storage space specifically in your small bedroom, yes, like I said, get those functional pieces of furniture. Can you put your hats in an ottoman, a storage ottoman, something like that? But another thing is, it's fun to display some of your things in regards to, clothing and that sort of thing. So if you're lacking, when I say storage, I mean like closet space and that sort of thing. Do you have really cool hats? Maybe you can put them up on hooks, on pegs. Displaying some of your pieces can make your room feel really unique and really fun and really you, but yet it still is like serving that purpose, right? So it's a little bit of art and it's a little bit of function, and they blend together so well if you can do that in your small room. Another tip, if you have a smaller closet within your small bedroom, is something you're probably going to want to seasonally rotate your clothing. You probably are gonna have space to hang all of your clothes at one time. So putting in the other season that you're not in, those other seasons, putting those clothes in a travel seal, like Ziploc bag that you can vacuum seal and lay flat and store away. Again, store it under your bed, store it wherever you have the space, you're gonna gain so much space in your closet. From there, you may even have enough room to, maybe you put hanging drawers, hanging dividers in there, hanging shelves, so that do you need to store your shoes? Do you need to store, your jeans folded, something like that. Also investing in, if you are wanting to make an investment, any kind of slim hangers. Okay, I love a wooden hanger. It makes me feel like I'm at a boutique. I love those. Ideally, I would have a giant closet and all of my clothes would be housed on these. Not practical, right? So the slim hangers really do make a big difference. Some people don't like the velvet hangers. Me personally, they're not my favorite either. They look great, but for some people it's a texture thing. Anyways, you can find slim ones and I will link to them, and they kind of have grip. They're like kind of a rubber hanger, but they're just slim. They have less of a footprint than a regular kind of plastic hanger, the ones I'm talking about. And they work really well for any type of garment because your garments can just stick to it, right? It holds it, they won't slide. Words, hard sometimes. I hope these tips were helpful for you. If you have a small bedroom and you have specific questions, please leave it in the comments. I'm happy to answer them. Also, if you have a question, other people probably have the same thing too. So I really would love to answer it. Please like, share, subscribe, all the things. Thank you so much for being here, and I will talk to you guys very soon.